that felt like somebody was just on some stream of consciousness.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Mark Rumble Weeks. My name is Cole. His name is Mike. His name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 79 of the Anime Protagonist Podcast. And on this week's episode, we are recording a podcast.
Oh, good. Yes,
for the first time.
Wow, I can't believe it.
We are reviewing what?
And Yet the Town Moves.
And Yet the Town Moves. I keep getting the name confused. And Yet the Town Moves.
Part of it is
still the Town Moves.
For part of it being confusing, like it's not a correct translation. I think the translation is "And Yet the Town Turns." So "And Yet the Town Moves." Honestly, that makes more sense than "And Yet the Town Moves," but whatever.
The wheels on the bus go round and round. But before we get to that review, I look at my two lovely co-hosts here. One of them is named Michael. One of them is named Jay.
Figure out which one is which. Next time
Figure
on
out
Dragon
which
Ball
one
Z.
is which. On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Mike is the one with the red shirt.
It's true. Big, powerful samurai on it.
Yeah, there it is. Jay, what's on your mind? Please
What is on my
tell
mind?
me.
If you say nothing, I swear to goodness.
No,
be
I
gracious.
actually do. I actually do have
house.
something on my mind, and it'll open up a little bit of a discussion, I think. So aside from And Yet the Town Moves, I watched another anime this past week.
Oh, yeah.
Can we guess what it is?
Yeah, I already know what it is.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's No, I'm just doing what Jay always does. I have no idea if you watch Jay.
You've dropped so many hints.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the end of the episode for me to drop more hints. But anyway, so I watched an anime called As Miss Beelzebub Likes.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
I think I've heard of that.
Give me like a 10-second synopsis here.
Sure. So it's basically like a slice of life show about demons going about their business in Pandemonium, and about like the ruler of Pandemonium kind of running the show and how she runs the show. And it's just kind of like an office work setting kind of thing. But it's very like fluffy and cute and that
I'm looking at the mal for it now, and yes, it looks incredibly saccharine, sugary sweet. So
so it's like super super sugary sweet and fluffy and just like very comfy vibes.
The opening theme song is called Pink Lemonade, if you were wondering.
Yeah,
there it is.
How's the OP on this one, Jay?
It really fits the show, but like I wouldn't put it into an anime playlist or anything. But you know what I would put into an anime playlist, Mike?
Oh, what?
Oh,
are you adding to our Annie Songs playlist that we started?
I am adding to our Annie Songs playlist. I'll get back to what I wanted to discuss first, but I wanted to suggest Flyers by Bradio, the OP for Death Parade.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Unanimous.
I think we're all in favor of this, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other additions that we need to make to our Annie Song playlist while we're here? We're already in the Annie Song playlist corner.
Not off the top of my head, but you guys always got to be ready, because I could just drop one on you at any time.
You got to be ready to go. It's part of the podcast.
In fact, I was supposed to make a drop for that, but
it's okay.
I forgot.
Speaking of drop, you really dropped the ball on this one.
I don't get it.
Oh, never mind.
Do you get it, Jay?
I don't get it.
That's okay.
But,
I'm very tired.
Where was I? Yeah. So listeners, we can bring up songs at any time. So be ready, because we might just interrupt our discussions.
Get ready.
Get ready. It could happen.
With random song suggestions, and you can check out our playlist on basically everywhere, I think. YouTube, Spotify.
By everywhere,
YouTube
you mean
Spotify.
YouTube and Spotify, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And everywhere. Those are the two places I live.
Yeah. Those are our two homes. But going
Jay,
back to...
you were talking about that show.
Going back to that show. It's just a really cute, fluffy show, and I wanted to basically open the floor up to what is your favorite, like, cute, comfy, fluffy show? Or, like, what's a show that you would turn to for, like, just, like, comfy vibes?
Are Are you asking like what is your like most comfy show that you like, or is it like a comfort show? Because I think those are two different things.
I like just like fluffy, comfy show.
Okay, so it's like a soft
Shows
and fuzzy
that bring
show.
the comf.
Yeah, just like soft and fluffy.
I think I got the answer, and it's the king of comf.
Okay.
Yuru Camp.
I need to watch that show.
Yes.
I feel like
You
that
all
would
need to
make a
watch
good
that
review
show.
at some point.
It's
I
so
feel like
good.
it would. Yeah.
It's so comfy.
I've
love
heard
it.
from like many people that's like undisputed heavyweight champ of comf.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Another one that I really like is on the menu for
Yes.
Emiya's
Oh,
family.
yeah.
Whatever.
The fake cooking show.
Fake cooking show. Yeah.
Another one I need to watch because like you know what? Actually, I don't like fake. I don't know why I said that, but I'm okay with Fate and I love cooking, so I think it'd be interesting. It might be better than Unlimited Blade Works if I watch it.
That's bold.
I'm being
That's
silly.
a bold statement, Mike.
Guys, I'm just a silly goose.
It is still ufotable though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're short, Mike. You should watch some
They
after
are-
this.
they are
You can
short.
chill, relax.
Oh, I need that. I think I might play some Breath of the Wild though. But
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom. Man, my brain is not. I'm barely alive, guys. But anyway, comfy shows. Yeah, I feel like you two are way more in the comfy show camp. So maybe you guys could list some more while I cruise through my Annie list to find any comfy shows I've watched.
Mike, I got one for you.
Okay.
Aharon-san.
Oh, that is a great show. That is so comfy. Yeah,
Very
that's a great
comf.
choice because like
Very comf.
you get like the nice muted vibes of like Aharen and what's the dude's name? I don't remember him. Rido, yeah. They're like so
As the guy who doesn't like the show, I remember the guy's name.
Well, Jay, you're a
Your
genius. Your brain is
so
massive.
big.
It's literally overflowing through your ears. That's why you have the headphones on to keep the brain in.
Yeah. So I'll keep stalling while Mike frantically scrolls through Annie list. Takagi-san.
Horimiya, I guess.
Not for me.
No, I mean Cole doesn't love Horimiya, but I know Mike likes it.
I like Horimiya. I didn't think it was like the best thing I've ever seen, but like it's good.
I had issues with Horimiya, and I have a feeling I wouldn't have them with the manga. It was purely the anime that kind of
checks out.
dropped the ball.
As someone who's, me and Jay have both read most of them. I've read most of the manga. Jay's read the whole thing, and the manga does a better job, I would say. But the show's still good.
I'm very curious, speaking of Horimiya, of like whether the new season that's coming out will fix those problems or not.
Maybe if it expands a bit.
That's kind of what I'm curious about. I'm not sure.
I'm expecting it to be like I'm watching the Ranking a King show that's coming right now, and it's like it's just basically like little like episodic skits, kind of like the show we were about to review actually, where like there's not really a lot of tie-in between the two.
Yeah,
that's what I'm expecting the new Horimiya piece is going to be.
I think that's what Horimiya needs.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say this is a comf show, but kind of, but not really. But it's a comfort show for me too. But it also has comf elements to it, and that is March Comes In Like a Lion.
Okay, I would not call that a comfort show, probably because it's about, like,
well, hold on. You're forgetting all about the like Kawamoto, like when they're in the house there and everything's all comfy and they're eating good food and stuff.
Yeah,
there's definitely the heavy elements of it, but it knows how to bring the comf too, I think.
Yeah. I've definitely just thought of the obvious choice for my comfort show that I'll watch, and I can't believe it didn't come to my brain immediately. It is not just Ghibli, but the comfiest of Ghibli. My Neighbor Totoro is the comfiest.
Okay.
It is so comfy. Like the conflict in it is so like neutral. Like there's not really a ton that happens in it, but it's just like these two girls and exploring the woods and Totoro, and I don't know. It's just Ghibli just manages to capture like that childhood whimsy like no one else. So it's like I just love it. But pretty much any Ghibli honestly could be an answer for this for me. Except for Grave of the Fireflies.
Or Princess Mononoke.
Or
Nausicaa of the Nausicaa.
What's the one I'm thinking of?
The one with the flying pigs?
No, the popular one.
Spirited Away?
Spirited Away?
That's the one I'm thinking of.
That's, you know what, this is why I kind of asked earlier, is like a comfort anime for me or a comfy anime? Because I would say Spirited Away is a comfort anime for me because it's like something I watched as a kid.
Why don't we
enjoy?
Just expand it. Just expand it. Come on, comfort animes. Let's go.
Oh, goodness gracious. Spirited Away. It's not like comfy, I wouldn't say, but it's like comforting because it's like, it reminds me, it just takes me back to my childhood. And then the other one I'd throw in that camp of maybe not, you know what, maybe this one is comfy. And it's going to be a weird take, and you guys can tell me if I'm like a blazing idiot in a samurai shirt.
Okay.
But,
well, you are, but
yeah, I know. Pokemon.
I
The
get
Pokemon
that.
anime is like, it's comforting to watch, you know, especially like the Indigo League. You watch it, you kind of know what's going on.
Even like honestly, just like seeing like all the cute Pokemon, just them being cute, like that's just like comfy and fluffy and adorable.
Comfort one for me is Sound Euphonium. Or really like any of those like
KyoAni shows.
KyoAni shows. They've got that vibe to them.
Yeah.
Like there's still some like,
I'd say like even something like
dramatic
K-On!
elements.
Like it
K-On!
is both
For
comfort
sure.
and comfy because like it, you know, it's cute girls doing cute things, which is always comfy. But it also just has that good comfort of like the interactions between the girls and all that, and the music too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'd put that on my list of either or. Jay, what about a comfort show for you?
So comfort shows, like so when we're talking comfort shows, do we mean like shows that like make us feel good, not necessarily because of like the things going on, but just like
like on like a bad day. Yeah.
You're having a bad day, you need something to pick you up.
I feel like this is probably a weird take, but like sometimes watching trashy shows like Sword Art Online will get like is good comfort because like it's just like you shut your brain off and you're just like enjoying the ride. You're not there to like think too deeply about whatever, but like you're just enjoying the ride, unwinding and just sinking into your couch or bed or chair or whatever you're sitting on. Or
just
lying in.
comf.
Just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
I don't think that's weird. I think that's very fair.
That's the whole thing, yeah. I'm into that.
Yeah. Let us know what your favorite comfort show is. Well, Mike lets us know what's on his mind.
Oh my goodness. You guys are probably gonna have to carry this episode because like I just drove. I've been in like a work conference all weekend, so I was doing all sorts of stuff, and then with that comes like the responsibility of like I have to be very sociable, and as like what I would call like an introvert that's really good at pretending to be an extrovert and like putting on the act. Like I go out and I have to like socialize and meet people and do things and be an entertaining person and
like the upbeat voice.
Yeah, it's just like
the voice they like sometimes called the customer service voice, where like you have to be like upbeat, happy, and like ready to socialize when inside you're just waiting to be alone and chill.
Well, kind of, but like at the same time I do enjoy it. It's just like I always look at it as like
takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, I have a social battery, so like I can only do socializing so much before I need like a break and like just to recharge, reset, and then I go back out and I can do it more. I do enjoy the socializing, but at a certain point I just need like a break, right?
That's kind of how you know whether or not you're an introvert or extrovert, and that's kind of the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Introverts will recharge on their own and drain their battery when they're socializing, whereas extroverts recharge when they're socializing with other people.
Right. So like Cole on our middle there in the YouTube video is an extrovert, so he recharges when he's around people.
It's weird.
Me and Jay are introverts, so we're like sometimes like, Cole, I must leave now. I must go.
And I'm like, no, don't leave.
No, never leave me.
Just for like a peek behind the curtain, I think Mike and I like once we're done, we're both just like we're drained. We need to finish. And Cole's like, no, I need friends.
Yeah, that's just the way she goes.
It's a very strange thing living in my brain. I'll tell you both right now.
Well, I mean, it's just the fact that it's one extrovert with two introverts.
No, it's because
you need that though.
I'm an extrovert, sure.
Yeah.
But like I also have like social anxiety, so I get in my own way constantly.
Yeah. I think everybody has like a nice little nugget of social anxiety in there because it's just like a natural thing, right? But like you just gotta like somehow learn to live with it, right? Which
I think it's kind of that same fear as like public speaking, you know?
Yes.
Like everyone's afraid of public speaking to some degree. And I think it's even like one of the most popular, if not the most popular fears.
I would just say it's just like it's like being afraid of like heights. Like it's just like a natural thing, right? Like nobody likes standing on the edge of a skyscraper looking at the ground, right?
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer in like what they call exposure therapy, which is where you like, sure you're afraid of something or sure something's bugging you, but you kind of just have to like go through it or else you won't get stronger, right? It's just I've mentioned this on an earlier episode. A mantra I always say to myself is only way out is through.
Okay, yeah. Kind of meaning like the only way I can get through this is if I do it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm right. So like I can't escape it because it's always going to be there. So the only way I can get past this is
gotta do it.
Just gotta do it.
Get through it.
The only way out of this podcast is by getting through. That's what's going on in Jay's head. But I always think too, like maybe not as like dark as Jay's. That's
I don't mean that in a dark way.
Edgy protagonist way of thinking.
I don't mean that in a dark way. I just mean in like a just a casual like.
Not a dark way. Yeah, just a casual way.
Just casual.
Casual, dark, edgelord way. Yeah.
Just chilling with your friends. Got to get through it.
And so anyway, there's something I've said to Cole. I don't know if I've said it to Jay before, but like part of the reason I love shonen anime is I find it like very inspirational when I watch like Goku or something or Naruto and I see them push past their limits and like they're like on the brink of defeat and they think there's no way for it to get through it and then they do, right? It's kind of like Jay said, the only way out is through. And I find that very like encouraging, and sometimes I'll literally be like struggling or something and I'm like, yeah man, you know what? Goku could do this. Naruto could do this. Yeah. Ash Ketchum could do this. Stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a way to go. But and that's enough rambling from my crazy little brain. So zany. Oh yeah, did I even say what it? I drove a long time today. I left at like 6:30 in the morning, and I just got here at like 3 o'clock ish. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
bear with me, guys. I'm working on it. I'm gonna be okay. We're gonna review this little show, Cole's little show.
Be fine.
I'll be here. But Cole,
yeah,
your hair's looking good today. Can you tell me what's underneath it in that big brain of yours?
Well, there's no brain inside. It's inside of my hair. In my head is like more hair. Inside of my head is more hair, and it just squishes out like Play-Doh. You know, like a Play-Doh press.
Yeah.
This week for me was the week of completion. Gross.
You came to completion? And
my ringer's on apparently.
You have you leave your ringer on?
Yeah,
I do.
What?
I do with you guys so that I actually know when you guys are messaging me.
Oh, nice.
And then I just ignore it. Okay,
as
so
checks out.
I finished audiobook entitled American Prometheus. I think I told you guys about this last week.
This is one that you didn't start last week, I don't think.
It was the one it was the final one that I started.
Oh,
it's called American Prometheus, and it is the biography of Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb.
Oh, yes, I recall this now.
Yeah. Yes, I do recall this too.
It's very, very good. I got kind of, I wouldn't say emotional because I'm a robot, but you know, you spend because it was an audiobook. And you spend 25 hours listening, and then at the end, the guy dies, and it's like, oh, he just dies. Spoilers. He's dead.
But it's like based on a true story, though, right? That's not really.
Yeah, it's his
really
life.
Spoil real life.
Yeah.
You've kind of gone through this whole thing, and then he gets sick at the end, and then he dies, and it's like, oh. That's sad, but a very, very fascinating book.
Yeah.
And the reason I read it is because this is what the upcoming movie is based on this book.
Oh, it's based on this book specifically. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be kind of like not only about the building of the atomic bomb, but the aftermath, because he went through a bunch of Red Scare stuff, like communism and.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is Red Scare? What does that mean?
Yeah, McCarthyism. Yeah. But that's enough politics. I also finished today, actually, Tears of the Kingdom.
Nice.
I finished the game completely. I won't spoil anything, but it is...
I've heard it is quite a heartbreaking ending almost. Like I've seen like people saying it like sad reactions. I don't know anything about it. Something with the Master Sword, but yeah.
I don't know. People...
Yeah, just from memes I've seen.
I don't know what people get sad about. People get sad at the end of not Weathering with You, Your Name.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? It's not sad.
It's a happy ending.
It's a happy ending.
Yeah.
It's a happy ending. It's a good ending.
Are you mistaking like crying with being sad? Because some people can cry from just something being beautiful, right?
Yes.
Like, I would.
People
that's
can
how
also
I could see
cry
people
from
crying.
things being
Your Name.
That's what they're feeling, but they just assign it to being sad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not sad. You're just emotional.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah. You're just
you're just emotional, Jay.
I think calling something a tearjerker, that encompasses it, because like a tearjerker could be a happy ending, a sad ending, or just like whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas generally it refers to a sad show. I would say sad though, right? Like
generally, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you cry from a happy ending, then like you're still crying.
Yeah.
Right.
Jay's still crying.
He's still
I'm
crying.
still crying.
I was crying.
I kind of
SAO
think of
made me cry.
tearjerker as like something that uses like, it's almost like a dirty trick to get you to cry. You know what I mean? Like it's jerking the tears right out of your eyes, even though you don't want it. Whereas like something like Your Name, I don't think I'd call it a tearjerker, because it's like, if you're going to cry, it's just like purely of your own will, of like just accepting this is a beautiful movie type thing. Does that make any sense what I'm saying?
It makes sense, but I think you're looking at it from a very what's the word, like pessimistic point of view. Like, they're tricking me. They're tricking me into crying. Well, I think like of a tearjerker, it's just like a colloquialism.
Yeah,
you just say it.
I mean, that's the real answer.
It just makes you cry.
Yeah.
But I think of it like as like basically the jump scare equivalent, but for sad. Yeah. Jump scares
do bother me. I will be pessimistic about jump scares. Those are,
I mean,
lazy and uncalled for.
Once in a while, it's okay.
So would you
now,
say that,
if I was watching this YouTube video as purely like a viewer, I would be scared that we're going to put a jump scare in here.
I was just thinking the same thing. I should put a jump scare in right here. Oh, just kidding. There's no jump scare.
No, we're not. I will not allow jump scares on this podcast.
Then would you say that jump scares are the fart and poop jokes of horror?
Yeah, okay. I get where you're coming from.
I see what you're saying. They're the lowest form of horror for sure.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
It's cheap.
Sure.
It's cheap and easy.
Yeah.
It's cheap and easy and
But sometimes it do be hitting, you know? Sometimes it's good.
It do hit sometimes, but it's not going to hit in this podcast.
It hits sometimes, but like you need to use it right.
Right? Yeah. I think there's a way to do it. Like which is Insidious, I think. Does it where like there's that ghost behind them, but it's not like it's just like it cuts to it there. And there's a ghost there. It's like, okay, yeah, that's spooky.
I think Raimi does it well. Sam Raimi.
Okay. Yeah. Sam Raimi, sure.
Like I remember in Doctor Strange 2, which like it's not that great of a movie, but just like when the camera pans and Wanda's behind them, and like it is a jump scare, but like it wasn't like, you know. But
I can forgive Sam Raimi because he has a very unique style of directing. So like, okay, he's incorporating the jump scare into his thing. Okay, I got one last thing, and this will also kind of lead into a little bit of a question I have for you guys. Okay. I also caught up to the manga Insomniacs After School. It's great. Okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good, Jay. Relax.
It is good. I
don't know why. Jay always tells me after we're done recording that he hates this manga.
I didn't say that. What?
This is Cole projecting his insecurities on you, Jay. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, Jay's never said that. But I think I've told you guys about how the anime kind of inspired me to try astrophotography, right?
Right, yeah.
And I was just wondering, have you guys ever watched something that inspired you to try something IRL?
Oh, there's an easy answer for me.
There's a very easy answer for me.
I've got a couple and like this one, obviously, Insomniacs After School, and the other one was actually the Fate cooking show, where I've tried like the different recipes in that show.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I tried making like that's the recipe that taught me how to make like karage, like Japanese fried chicken. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Mike's got one like off the top of his head.
I got two actually. You made me think of another one. So I recently watched a movie called The Menu. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's about like a chef invites a bunch of like, he's a very like high prestige chef, and people pay a lot of money to go like to his little island that he has, and he cooks for them, and it's a thriller. It's really honestly a great movie. I highly recommend it.
That's a podcast. He kills his two other hosts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
That's the inspiration.
Solid movie. Go watch it. It's great. Great thriller. It came out last year, I think. But anyway, I watched it recently, and the guy is making all this food, and it's like a foodie movie. So like if you enjoy food, there's a lot there for you, because he actually does cook a lot of like really interesting things.
Okay.
And anytime I watch like cooking shows, which is quite often, honestly, or like any kind of cooking content, I get inspired to like start cooking. Very much in the same way Cole said with like the Emiya family one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number one answer. And then probably my number two answer would be like literally anytime I go to a concert or like watch a movie about like any kind of like music related stuff, it inspires me to pick up one of these guitars behind me and like try to play guitar again for a little while, and then I get bored of it, and then they go back on the wall.
the plight of a guitar player. Whenever I watch like a band, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go play my guitar, and then I remember that I'm nowhere near as good as the people that I enjoy watching, and then I just get sad.
Yeah.
I kind of get it's fun jamming on a little guitar or playing some music. Oh, sorry. Quick little burp there. Jay, do you have anything that inspires you?
Yeah, I think that's like you were talking about like music kind of inspiring you to want to pick up a guitar and play, and I think that's kind of like an artist thing, because when I read Bakuman for the first time, it was what inspired me to write, and the reason why I went to university for writing and all that was partially because of Bakuman. I was very fascinated by the idea of like creating a story that so many people liked, and so that is what sparked that. And then after a while, I was like, I'm nowhere near as good as anyone.
That's kind of the cruel realization that you come to, right?
Yeah, and
at the same time,
it might be like imposter syndrome too.
Yeah,
100%.
I was just about to say, like, you're your own worst critic, and like the thing, especially with writing, the thing with writing is you're like, the only time you're done writing a story is when someone tells you you're done, because like you can go back to a story and tweak little things about it, because like you'll always be like, oh, that's not right, I need to fix that, or that's not right, I need to fix that. So like most of the stories you see are things where like the editor was like, nope, you're done.
Yeah. And I'm another thing I believe in too is that like when you see like a really successful thing that inspires you, right? Like you read a really good book, the Oppenheimer book Cole just listened to /read. What you don't see when you see, oh, that guy's a great author, right? He writes this awesome book. I want to be like that. What you don't see is the like, I call it like the crap iceberg. So like there's the one little bit on top that's like actually great, but you don't see the whole rest of the iceberg below the surface of all just crap that's like not nearly as good as what that is.
All the failed, unaccepted works that they worked on, as well as like all the rough drafts that they went through to get to what they had and what they released.
It takes like 100 failures to have one success, right? Like which is why we're coming up on 100 episodes of the podcast.
Maybe one of these episodes will be good.
We'll get there someday, guys.
Maybe at some point we'll actually release a good episode for you guys.
Not likely.
We're working on it. But yeah, that's all that's on my mind. I just sorry, one more thing.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like you're about to announce something ridiculously cool, because that always happens after one more things in these presentations.
Wait, I have one more thing before the soundboard starts working.
Okay.
Happy Pride, guys. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
I wish I had more energy to wish I had Happy Pride. I'm so mad about this soundboard every time.
It's time for the mailbag.
There we go. Only like 2 minutes.
Do you know what it was,
after
Cole?
I clicked it. What?
Cole, were you on the live or the preview?
I was on live.
Oh, because I clicked it once and then it worked.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It worked.
Riverside, help us
like
out, man.
halfway into like part 2, we just like get the built up clicks that Cole did. So like we're trying to do the reintro and we just hear it's time for the mailbag.
It's time for the
Guess what though, guys? It is time for the mailbag, and once again, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy
Pride Month to all of you. I feel like that deserves a round of applause.
I wish I could
I'll
help
give you a
with
round
that.
of applause. If the soundboard can't do it, I'll do it.
Wow, this is just sad.
Look, we're doing...
That's fair. That's very fair.
Okay. Opie Master Ash wants to... Can I read the mailbag now, guys? Yeah?
I'll allow it.
Opie Master Ash wants to know, what's a series that you've read that you want an anime for? I would pick The Boy Who Cried Wolf Tells a Lie Today also. Does anyone know what that is?
Nope.
'Cause I don't. Neither do I. I bet you'd make a good anime, though. Cole, do you think your Oppenheimer book would make a good anime?
I think it'll make a pretty good movie coming out pretty soon, in about a month. Goodnight Poon Poon, I think, would be a devastating anime. I think
feel
it would be
it's
like
too dark
really
to
good.
get one.
I think it'd be like good OVAs.
You'd have to really be
like
careful
10,
with it.
Like a 10 episode OVA, like really heavy. Like, yeah, I don't know if you could put it on TV per se.
Yeah.
But I think it would be really, I don't know, like there's just so much artistry in like how Poon Poon is portrayed. I think what would be cool is if all of the characters are like animated, but Poon Poon is still like a manga character, so he's just like a still and he has like word bubbles that come out of him too.
Or like he's still with the storyboard.
Yeah, like I don't know, like it would just be like different artistry takes to it.
I wonder if they could do it, because it's in like arcs, right? I wonder if they could do it like movie style and have, I think it's 6 arcs, 6 parts to it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's something like that, but have like movies, like basically hour-and-a-half OVAs.
So kind of like
ONAs,
Garden of Sinners, I guess.
Kind of like Garden of Sinners,
maybe.
Yeah. I think that would work. But yeah, it would definitely be very heavy, but I think it would be really good too. Like I think it would deserve a good studio and like good direction on it as well too.
Who would you want to see do Goodnight Poon Poon, Cole? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
that'd be a tough one. Maybe
I was gonna pitch Shaft, but like I haven't seen read Goodnight Poon Poon to actually.
I mean, like we just finished watching the show we're about to review, but I would love to see Shaft do it.
Madhouse, or maybe
with that director.
Madhouse,
yeah.
I feel like they could handle it. You'd have to have it'd have to be done with care, right? That's the thing. And
I feel like a lot of people would default to Mappa, and like I don't think Mappa would do it justice.
Mappa is dark shonen action shows.
Yeah, and
it's
like
not action and action heavy.
The reason I say that is like I feel like a lot of people, when they ask like what studio should do it, they default to like, oh, Mappa's so good, they should do it.
You can't listen to the masses, man.
No, I know. I'm not throwing it out there. I'm just like that's just something that happens.
Okay, Jay, tell us why the beginning after the end would be a good anime now. Even though it's already been made, it's called Mushoku Tensei.
Mike, you know what? Here's my pitch. Do you want Mushoku Tensei, but the main character isn't a pervert?
He's kind of a pervert at the beginning a little bit.
I mean...
But, yeah. I know what you're saying.
He's not as bad as Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy's like genuinely like greasy. He's a greasy boy.
And also like later on, art's not like that at all.
No. You know what? I actually like as someone who's reading it right now, I appreciate how like the author took like a stance of like, yeah, Art is not going to be into his like 13-year-old best friend. He's going to feel conflicted about his feelings towards her because he's also like, he's a 13-year-old boy too, but at the same time he's also a grown man. But he has the mentality
of like a full-grown adult, so he's like, this is no.
Yeah.
Like just like those little things like it feels great. Just the fact that it honors that, as well as just like the world is beautiful. The power system is like it is very generic, but like it feels really well thought out. Just like how magic works, how like magic cores work with beast wills and everything like that, as well as other things that I can't get into because it's spoilers.
I think it would work, like, just from like I honestly, the author must write or must watch a lot of anime, because just the way it's structured and the way like the powers and everything work, it is very anime, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, he did say that one of his inspirations was Mushoku Tensei, as
there you go.
Yeah, as well as Aragon and other and other things, but it feels very, very anime-esque with
Aragon could make a good anime, actually.
Aragon would be good, yeah.
That'd be a good anime, actually. Yeah.
Honestly,
Any other ones?
Mike, do you have?
Yeah, I do.
Answer.
Oh, okay. My answer to this is going to be something that I'm surprised Cole didn't say. I would love a Star Wars anime, like a 24 episode, like actual cohesive storyline of of an anime, not just like I could go for a retelling of like one of the movies or something like that, but it'd be cool to see like an actual story that's more inspired by anime, kind of like in like the vein of like Star Wars Visions, but just like more of a,
because like an actual
that's
story.
Actually an interesting thing that you made me think of. Out of all of the episodes of Visions that were there, I think Cole and I touched upon this when we reviewed Visions,
episode
like back in episode 2. You can check that out on our Patreon, by the way. Links to that will be in the description down below, probably.
It's banished behind a paywall.
Banished behind a paywall because it's so garbage. But
horrible.
Regardless, if any one of those episodes were to be turned into like a full 12 episode series, which one would you want the most?
Oh, I mean, I've talked about it before. I can't remember the names of them anymore, but there's that one where she's kind of like an outcast Jedi. And
she's like helping them on an island, I think, right?
She's helping like this almost tribalist society. And she kind of like reveals herself as a Jedi at the end. It's just, it was the most like Star Wars-ish thing. It was like, this is what a Jedi should be. Like they're putting these other people ahead of them and their own safety. It was so good. It was the best episode of Visions for me, definitely.
Yeah,
yeah. Mike, have you watched Visions yet?
No, I haven't. But it's one of those things where like at this point, if I wasn't on this podcast and I didn't feel obligated to watch as much seasonal stuff, I would have watched it by now. But like Cole always says, there's only so much bandwidth that I have literally time, like literal time. Like I watched the last episode of the show we're about to review like this morning before I left. So it was like as I was brushing my teeth, I'm like, here's the last episode, and then I drove 7 hours home, and then I'm on this podcast with you guys. But
I told you we could have waited till tomorrow.
It's okay. No, we're good. Star Wars. I think Star Wars Visions was like a great proof of concept. And I was gonna say Lord of the Rings too, but I don't know if that works as well in anime. I don't think it's fantastical enough. If that makes sense.
Like
where Star Wars it has that magic to it.
Disney kind of like lends itself to being anime a little bit. Just because like
Star Wars wasn't always Disney.
No, but like I mean,
I know that hurt my brain a little bit when he said like Disney. I'm like,
Disney,
what? And then I'm like, oh yeah.
Hold on. Disney put it under its banner because like it fits within its moniker, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
They wouldn't purchase it if it didn't match what their mission statement was, right?
Yeah.
I think that
makes sense.
You know, Star Wars, and I guess now that we're talking about Disney, most Disney stuff would make good anime. I mean, Disney had a lot of the Ghibli films over here, at least for a time.
I think like for like a very long time, they're actually like a huge part of why Ghibli is so popular over here too.
Yeah. They marketed them. Yeah. Another one is I came into my brain when I turned around and looked at my manga, but it's Yotsuba and would make a great
honestly
anime.
surprised that doesn't have an anime yet.
It's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
I think the spirit of this question though, Cole, is non-manga series though. Do you have any
Says, what's a series that you've read that want an anime for?
Yeah.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't
non-manga.
specify. Yeah.
Okay. Is this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up if this the boy who cried. Anyway, yeah. Yotsuba
Okay,
needs,
okay. I have to think about that. I mean, I'll default. Like, I'll just throw out a default answer right now and say The Matrix.
Okay.
Because it's already basically a live action anime.
I feel like it got an anime.
For the
I
people
feel like
who
we
are
did an episode about this.
For the people who are screaming, we do know that Star Wars Clone Wars exists, which is kind of like an anime Star Wars.
Yeah.
All that. And then we do know that the Animatrix happened, but did it really happen though?
It is canon.
I know, but it is
not
canon, very good.
But I mean, like, what? The Animatrix is very highly praised.
Is it actually? I have no
Yeah.
idea. I haven't watched it since I was like 12.
Yeah, me neither. But
I like how Cole had to backtrack about saying it was good and just be like, it was highly praised.
Cole's like, I don't actually remember either. I misspoke, by the way. Opie Master Ash's question actually has it is a manga that they were actually talking about. So I am sorry, Cole, for calling you out on that.
Okay, well now you have to adjust your answer, Michael.
No, I don't have to. Oh, actually I do. Okay. I do have one. I would like for a little manga known as
Tokyo Ghoul to have an anime.
Yeah, that'd be nice if Tokyo Ghoul got a remake of an anime.
It's kind of weird that it didn't, considering how popular it is, honestly.
Yeah.
And then, you know who'd be great, actually? And then we're going full circle here. Mappa would do a great job with it. This is where Mappa would shine.
Mappa would do, that would be a good episode. Redoing shows like with
different studios.
With a different studio.
Put it in the dock.
I feel like
put it in the dock.
Put it in the dock.
I've pitched this before and you guys were like, what?
Jay's legitimately pitched this like 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay, well now my brain accepts it because
you came up with it?
Yeah, because Cole came up with it.
I believe it. That all checks out. But you know what else checks out?
What?
That we have 3 idols to add to our idol tournament.
Oh no.
And while Cole scrambles for a second week in a row to come up with an idol.
Hey, I had a good one last week.
You did have a good one last week. I will recap who we have so far for our idol to fight to the death tournament that we have coming up. We have Vivi, selected by Cole from Vivi's Forward Eyes song. Sakura, selected by me from Zombieland Saga. Eli Ayase from Love Live, selected by Jay. Ai Hoshino, selected by me from Oshinoko. Minmei Lin, Cole's Dark Horse great pick from last week.
From Macross.
Macross or Robotech, depending on which, if you're a 13-year-old boy in 1999. And
1989, maybe.
Jay's pick, well, in Canada probably wasn't airing then, was it?
No, my dad
80s?
watched it.
Oh,
the 80s.
there you go. Yeah. Jay picked Nodoka Toyohama from Jay.
Bunny Girl Senpai.
Bunny Girl Senpai. And then this week, I will add my character to the hat. Her name is Lacus Klein from Mobile Suit Gundam Seed.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Including Gundam. Her
Including
Zaku.
the
Her
Gundam.
pink Zaku that she has. That's included
Including
in
the
this tournament.
Gundam. Oh, that's cruel.
What do you mean that's cruel?
Oh, I've got my answer right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't. Quick, stall for me.
Stall. Well, Jay has to give one too. So.
I do have to give one. Okay, I will go with Tsu Terakado from Gintama.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike has
Tell us
no idea
about
who
her.
that is.
No
but
idea. I
she
famously
is,
have not watched Gintama, so.
No, but she is a famous pop singer who started out just singing in back alleys with a guitar in hand and slowly gained popularity as people heard her sing. And she's very funny, has no fighting capabilities whatsoever that I can remember.
I think a lot of these idols won't. I think a lot of this will just... I don't know how we're going to decide these ones.
What do you mean? I think it's just a fight to the death, isn't it?
It's just a fight to the death, but I think we might need some trap cards for that one. I'm going to go with, from the show, Kageki Shoujo. I don't know if I count them as idols, but they're kind of idols. I'll go with main girl, Sarasa Watanabe. because that's what popped into my head. Again, no fighting abilities at all. No giant mech. No
she doesn't
robot.
actually get the mech.
Okay.
That'd be ridiculous.
That would actually be really funny, though. Just like a ton of idols and then one giant mech with a girl in it.
That should be a trap card, Cole, is they get a mech.
A pink Zaku. They get the pink Zaku.
They get the pink Zaku.
They get ball.
They
get a ball, actually.
What was the other one? What was the other one? That he kept saying? No, Jay.
Oh, Big
Jay.
Zam.
Big Zam.
Yeah. Big Zam would be bigger than our stadium, though, so that's
Big Zam is the best Gundam.
It's not a Gundam.
We need to go to a break before
you don't
Jay
understand.
says
Big
no.
Zam is the best Gundam.
It's time for a break.
It's time for a break with
Jay,
that.
do you want to give us some hints and then see if we can guess what your review will be at the end of the episode?
Yeah, tell us now, and then we'll guess at the end of the episode.
Okay, for sure. I'll give you guys time to think about it.
Is it your idea?
I don't know. I'm taking credit for it now.
Okay. First hint. It is
Holy moly.
It is a 2-cour show.
Okay.
24 episodes.
Oh, no. 24 episodes, really?
You're killing me, Jay. You're killing
me, Jay. Okay.
It is by the director of Death Note.
Okay.
Starring
I know
Yuki Kaji
Okay.
as the protagonist.
Okay.
I figured it out. I've solved the mystery.
And it is a 10 out of 10.
Oh, let's go! that was the one, but we won't reveal it.
We
will reveal it at the
end
of the episode.
Jay, that hint was too obvious.
That was an obvious hint.
Yeah, but
I know.
If you have an idea what it is, you can comment it on the YouTube video or tell us in the Discord what you think it is, and then let us know if we'll react if you were right or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do it while you're listening.
Yeah, do it right now. Are you
right
commenting?
Now. Do it.
Right now.
Did you comment yet?
Right now. Yeah.
Do it. Okay.
Have you done it yet?
Break.
Okay, break.
This week we are reviewing And Yet the Town Moves, or As the Town Turns, or I forget what the name is in Japanese. Cole, tell me now. Tell me now.
I don't know. Sorry, Machi.
Sorry, Machi. Yeah. Cole picked this one because it's by his favoritist studio that's ever been on the studio planet of Earth, and it's
aside from Studio Orange.
It's Prime Shaft. Prime Shaft. It's Shaft in their prime.
Gross.
But we'll get into more about Cole's love of Shaft in the review that we're about to do. Before we get into any of that, I think we should predict each other's thoughts on this show from 2012 by Studio Shaft.
Let's do that. Jay,
before you do that, don't worry, no spoilers. We'll tell you when there's spoilers coming.
Oh, yeah.
We'll give a big old spoiler warning. Yeah.
We'll give a big old spoiler warning. Jay, begin.
Yes.
What did you think we thought of this show that we watched?
That's what we were supposed to do first. I think Cole liked it, but he didn't like it as much as he thought he would. I think he loved the direction, and he loved the technical side of it. But I don't think he liked the actual execution of it.
I'm so sorry for our podcast listeners. You just heard me absolutely lose my mind. Michael died for a moment.
The funny part is they would never have known if you didn't.
No,
I muted my mic because I chugged water, and then you know when you get like that weird feeling in the back of your throat that you're like gonna cough. I was like, I gotta.
Yeah. He did a literal spit take.
Jay thinks that you enjoyed it, but it didn't enjoy it as much as you might have thought, eh?
Yeah.
And then what does Jay think about me?
Mike, I think that I don't think Mike liked it that much. I think he might have thought it was a little boring. A bit slow. And just not his thing overall.
I like watching when we're predicting the thoughts. We're all just like watching the person we're talking about's face for any kind of like clues.
Yeah.
And we could,
Michael,
who has the best poker face here for sure.
Michael, give us clues.
All right. I think that Jay, he probably thought it was okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he thought it was anything like it wasn't his favorite thing to watch. It didn't really like move him to tears at any point, except for maybe at the end, but they'll get there. And I just think overall he was like, I can appreciate it for being like a good show, but it's just not his thing. And then Cole, I think, loved this show. I think this is probably, it's not gonna be like top 10, but like a solid top 30. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be in like the top tier for a while to come, and it's just gonna be like one that he thinks back and is like, I enjoy that, and he might watch an episode here or there just going back to it. Now, Cole, what did you think about Joseph and I
think, frankly, both of you didn't like this show. Frankly. I think Jay was maybe a little higher on it because, okay, hold on. I'm going to come at this.
Jay's putting on his best, like, I am stone face man now.
I'm going to come at this more from Michael. I know Michael. Michael, have been friends with you for a long, long time.
This guy.
You are not the most, like, director savvy person in the world.
What are you trying to say?
I think Jay probably liked this more than Mike did. But yeah, I think you guys were both, this is probably the lowest of the shows that we've watched from you two.
Even less than Crest of the Stars for me?
Did you not like Crest of the Stars?
Well, it was not my thing. I would say that.
Okay. I can't remember. Do we reveal what we thought?
I think it becomes evident. I don't know. I'll say it. I enjoyed this show. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was, like you said, I don't think it's the best thing I've ever seen, but I can like appreciate it. Kind of basically what I said about Jay is kind of just true about me in this one. I thought it was good. I don't think it's like the best thing I've ever seen, if that makes sense. But it's very good as like I like watching things where you can kind of like get a sense of what's to come. Like with this, you're watching it and it's like you can clearly see like how they turned this into Monogatari and stuff.
Monogatari came first.
Yeah, Monogatari
Did it really?
was first.
I thought this came out in 2012.
Yeah, Monogatari came out in like 2010 or something.
Oh my goodness, never mind then.
Like 05, 06 or something.
Well then, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe one of you guys should talk.
Jay, what did you think?
So I'm a bit of a mixed bag on this show because, like, I do like the direction on this show, and I think that it was a well-directed show. But at the same time, I'm not sure if the direction and the style of direction that it took really serviced the subject matter that this show covered. And like the entire time I was watching the show, I was trying to figure out whether it matched how the story of the manga played out.
Have you read this manga?
I haven't read the manga, but
okay.
Just like from watching the anime, I was trying to think like if this was done as like just like a typical slice of life show, would this be better? And because I haven't read the manga, I don't have an answer to that, but it was a question that kept coming up in my mind.
Has Cole read this manga?
I've seen bits and pieces of this manga.
Okay.
Now for my turn. I enjoyed it, but I think there are definitely some flaws with it. I think the show draws you in with style. Like the first few episodes are kind of the definition of style over substance. But then I think it finds its footing like kind of midway through, and I feel like that's when it, like, as the show went on, I felt like it got better and better.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
I get that.
So it's kind of where I'm at. So in the end, like taking it in on as a whole, I liked it.
It's not bad by any means, right?
No,
like,
I didn't think it was bad.
Any of us thought this was bad, but
no,
I don't think I don't think when you compare it to other stuff, it really is like, it's not going to change your worldview or anything. I don't know if I agree with what Jay said about the style of like Shaft hurting the subject material. I don't think I agree with that, because I think a lot of like the humor and stuff that it went for and like the off the wall vibes, I feel like I don't know if it was just because Shaft did it, but I just felt like it was a good fit. I don't know.
And the other thing too is I think the show makes you think that this is just a slice of life, but it kind of isn't. Like
it kind of isn't. No,
it kind of isn't.
It gets like off the rails.
By the end, it does get a bit wild. That is fair.
And the further off the rails it goes, the better it gets.
Yeah. No, like when it was like kind of more Monogatari-esque. It's not. I can't even say storytelling, because like there's no real like plot. But like when
there kind of is, but it's not really that important.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Like in the overall like package of the narrative, I guess. When it gets to like the supernatural stuff, that's when this direction actually does fit it. But when
where
it
gets
does
like
kind of
really off the wall,
yeah. But for me, it was like when it did that like slice of life thing, at the cafe. That was kind of like when I was questioning it a bit more.
Yeah, I think one thing that none of us questioned though is probably how good the OP is for this show.
Oh, I love it. I love this OP. I told you guys this before off air, but now I'll say it on air. The OP is by Seiya. Oh shoot! I wish I had the name right in front of me. Quick!
Seiya Higuchi. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
I was quick. Stall for me. I'm sorry. Maya Sakamoto. She is also known as the seiyuu for Shinobu in Monogatari.
Yes, you did say that.
Yeah, and she's a very well respected seiyuu, and she was a good singer before that.
Is she in this show?
I didn't know that.
As a voice actor? No? Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, like she's just a singer. She also sung one of the OPs for Cardcaptor Sakura in the 90s. Like she's an accomplished singer. And this OP is Shaft to a T. They are the king of OPs.
Yeah, it had. Wow. I don't know about. We can debate that on another episode, but
we can, but be prepared to be annihilated.
I do like how like dynamic it is, and I'm a sucker for like an OP that's just like groovy and like dancing and singing and stuff. And like, yeah, that's what this is. It's just pure groove. The only thing I didn't really like about it is I didn't really think the song was fantastic, which I know Cole was just talking about how much he loved the song. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was that great.
It's so jazzy. It's so cool.
So for me, I thought that the song fit the show and the vibe that the show was trying to pass off. But I wouldn't, like I said about what was the show I was talking about? Where I wouldn't add it to my any playlist or anything.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah, that's
no. This is definitely
subjective.
not. I would. Just, you're not even Cole's. I don't think is adding this to an any playlist, right?
It's on my playlist.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
Yeah. No,
he's a simp. He's a simp.
It definitely is.
It's a good song.
That definitely is a subjective thing, but yeah, like the visuals and visually, it is a good OP.
Yeah.
But the song, not personally my cup of tea.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's kind of like an inferior version of the song, the OP that we nominated to our Annie Songs playlist of Flyers by Radio for the Death Parade OP. No, you don't think so?
That's shots fired. You guys might agree with that, but I mean,
no,
I
honestly,
I like this song a lot.
I don't
like a lot.
I don't really compare it to Flyers.
I get
by
where
Radio.
Mike's coming from.
It seems like it's its own thing.
Oh yeah, but it's just like basically dancing and stuff.
Yeah. Sure.
It does have like one of the things that I think is like the best part of the show objectively, and like probably for me is the animation is just like great because Shaft just. The direction and animation is what makes Shaft shine. And I don't think this show would even be maybe even worth watching without that, if that makes sense. And you can see
it's
that in this OP too.
It's definitely a plus. But we're starting to go down the animation and visuals.
Yeah, we have one more thing to talk about, don't we?
We do, and that would be the ED.
Yes. I enjoyed the ED for this show. It's kind of in the same camp as the OP, where I thought the ED was good, but like it's not making any playlists and stuff. And after I saw the episode where the ED really comes like full picture, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section after there, but like after that point I appreciated it even more. But I found myself I actually watched the ED more than I watched the OP actually for this show, which is a strange thing to say, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp as you, Mike, where I preferred the ED by the end to the OP.
It's weird though, because like if you just played both of them for me and I didn't know anything about the show, I'd say the first one, the OP, was better. But like I ended up watching the ED more than I watched the OP.
Yeah.
Just strange.
I love the ED.
It's just fun.
It just screams like, I don't know, like it's just like off the wall. Like they're all saying, like the lyrics in the songs are just about themselves.
Yeah.
It
seems like a high school band writing and producing a music video.
Yeah.
They did a good job capturing the essence of the characters in this show, right?
Yeah, they're just goofy.
Yeah.
Just goofy girls having goofy, weird times.
There's like one line in there where they say something about like, if you're constipated, you'll have a bad pregnancy or something like that. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, why is that in here?
I guess because it rhymed. It rhymed with what they were saying. Yeah. I don't know. It's
wild.
Good.
It's a wild show.
It's a wild ride. Yeah.
It just felt like it just felt like the ED to this show.
Yeah.
You know? That's a good way to put it. Like Jay always says, we're like, it's the best ED for this show, I think.
Yeah. It's the best as the town moves ED.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can just go back into visuals, which I think is definitely like the strong point of this show.
For sure.
It's almost, I'd say, other than if you're like Cole and you get a big kick out of like characters like the main girl in this show, I'd say it's the reason to watch this show, is just to get some Shaftian goodness.
Yeah.
Like the direction in it is, the head tilts and the like weird lighting on characters to like dramatize something like happening.
Even like the weird framing of like scale. Like there was one shot of like the classroom when the math teacher's like teaching the main girl, and like the classroom looks huge with like the desks on each side. And just like a giant space in the middle, like
Shaft is like, they remind me of like Wes Anderson or something. The way that they like frame their shots, like it's just lots of like empty space and like just still.
Yeah,
but like also it's super dynamic at the same time. Like they're constantly doing like panning shots up characters to their faces, and the way the characters turn to the cameras, you know, head tilts and stuff like that.
Or like the way it like cuts between different shots. It even had like that Monogatari thing where like when it changes shots, it'll have like that camera snapshot sound. Every time it changes shots.
Here's one thing that probably will also lend into it. It is Shaft who did it, but it is the director of Bake Monogatari, all the Monogataris, Nisekoi, Madoka Magica, Sangatsu no Lion.
I was gonna lead into that. I think it's more so the talents of Akiyuki Shinbo than anything. That really
I would love to see a live action movie directed by this guy. Like
he's just got such a great eye for like shots.
I mean, and it's not just him. Like I think he kind of lended his vision to Shaft, and a lot of those other directors that split off from Shaft still do that same stuff. Like the director for Call of the Night, or the director for the Vanitas one, the one that Jay likes.
Case Study Vanitas.
Like those are three different people. No, those are three different people.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but they all have like.
I thought
they were all from Shaft.
Yeah,
Jay's
so it's like a combined. Yeah, he's like, I cannot believe I was wrong. But it's cool when you see like they all come together to have like this sweet vision, and it just like pays off, and you can see it, and it's unique, and it stands out right away, and it's just the way Shaft does it, like their, like you said, their framing and their shots, and it's
It's
really
just,
like no other. It's just so dynamic, and
it's so unique.
I might push back on your take that you'd love to see a live action, because I don't know how good some of these things might work.
It might be
weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it might be tough. Yeah.
Because sometimes I think sometimes the cool thing with Shaft is they're not afraid to go off model with their characters and make them look flipping weird sometimes. And you're like, that's not even the same person. What's going on? Or like, why are they stretched like that?
Yeah. The three of us watched the first episode together when you guys took me out for a walk a few weeks ago.
Yeah, when we took Cole for a walk, remember, Jay?
Yeah. So I figured out where my confusion was.
Jay's back.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I was on a little bit of a trip there. So my confusion was Shinbo was the chief director of Monogatari, and the guy who did Vanitas was just like an assistant director on it.
And another assistant director was the guy who did Call of the Night. Yeah. They were like. They like leached off of him create like I don't know, Shaft just seems like just a powerhouse of creating directors.
Oh my goodness. Cole, I just looked up the two producers on this show too, and it's like the show is literally made by like all your favorite people. One of the producers also did Code Geass, Yona of the Dawn, Panty and Stalking, bunch of great stuff there. And then I click on the other producer, Shinichi Nakamura, and he did Your Lie in April, or not Your Lie in April, A Silent Voice, Violet Evergarden, Clannad, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, K-On!
Okay, so obviously from Kyoto Animation.
Sound Euphonium. Yeah.
No, I mean this show's really good, guys. But
you just said you didn't think it was that good.
I mean, in this area.
Okay.
In this area.
No, definitely this area is probably like the best area.
This is like we said,
part of the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The reason to watch the show.
Just you guys took me out for a walk and we watched the first episode, and there was that shot where main girl and the boy who has a crush on her are sitting at the desk, and the camera is like panning up from underneath the table. You don't see that with other studios. They're the only ones who like will take the time to animate camera perspective moving over somebody.
That's a great take actually, Cole, because like lots of shows do the panning shot because it's just cheap and easy, right? Whereas Shaft, a lot of the time they do it because it's cool, and then they also change the perspective. I'd never actually thought of it that way. They animate
the camera.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like, man, they take the time and it pays off. And I don't know, some people might say, oh, that looks weird, like, because like they look like they're all stretched and like in different proportions, but it's like,
it's part of the charm though.
It's part of the charm, and you have to understand how much effort went into that. Like,
I think that a lot of people look at like off model or like animation smears or like things like in that wheelhouse is like bad, when like no, that's like using that kind of thing. Using that kind of thing is an assistant to be able to make good animation and stylized animation.
From the West, I mean, there's famous, like, look up like Simpsons motion blur on Google, and they have to animate the motion blur so it makes the characters look like they're all like, Homer's eyes will be like stretched out and stuff like that, because they took the time to animate what would normally be a byproduct of film. And it's just, I love Shaft. I love Shaft so much.
It makes film nerds like Cole go nuts when they see stuff like that. And
what about
really
like? Do you guys have anything else before I move on to our next topic?
I think we've raved enough. Let's. Yeah, I think this next one's. Yeah.
Okay, voice acting. What did you guys think of voice acting?
At first, you know what? I kind of found the main girl's voice actor. What's her name?
Chiaki
Hotori, done by Chiaki Omigawa. I kind of found her voice a little annoying, and I think that might have been the point the more I watched the show, is like, because she is an annoying person, and I think it fits her.
It's a unique voice too. Like, her voice kind of cracks often, which I like. I like a voice that does that. Other than that, I mean, I find it funny that like the head maid is played by a guy. That's funny.
That is funny, yeah.
The old
Classic
lady
grandpa
yeah.
voice. Yeah.
But other than that, like, it's a pretty standard fare. Like, there's those two standouts for me for being unique and different. But other than that, like, everybody else is pretty standard.
For me, and you guys were there for my reaction to this, the math teacher is voiced by one of my favorite seiyuu. Tomokazu Sugita. And
when we were watching this show, like, Jay heard a voice and he was like, "Oh my god, it's that?" And then he went like he did a couple minutes ago and just dove into his phone. We didn't hear from Jay until he discovered the answer. He's like, "It is." And then we're like, "What's up?" And then he's like, "And
it's
Sugita."
Sugita.
Yeah.
It was a hype moment.
It was very hype.
Yeah, Jay was very pleased with himself.
I was very
literally lost his mind.
Sugita's great, man. I love.
What else has he done?
Sugita.
Like, what do you love him in?
He's Gintoki and Gintama. He's like the voice in Rudeus's head, like not Rudeus, but like the narrator,
the old
I guess.
Guy? The original Rudeus.
The Japanese voice actor for Joseph Joestar. Part 2 Joseph Joestar.
Okay.
And others that I probably am forgetting at the moment, but those are the ones that stand out.
Okay.
The math teacher's great, by the way.
Yes.
Math teacher is great.
We'll talk about characters.
Sugita
after.
There.
Yeah.
Just the sound of the show in general.
The sound of the show. I mean, again, Chef does a good job with like sound design, but it's pretty like standard fare.
Yeah, like we said, like the visuals are really what stands out in this show, and honestly, not that much else. Maybe the characters you could argue, but like the sound design like wasn't bad by any means.
No, I mean it was serviceable. It did what it had to do. But I mean, like, this isn't an action show, right? Like, it's not like, whoa, that explosion sounds great. Like SAO, I'll say it forever. SAO is king of sound design. Like, their sounds in it are incredible. But that's because it's an action show, so it can do that. This is not that.
They did a good job though of capturing like the zaniness of it and stuff. Like that episode 2 where it's like talking all about the dog. Like there's some good stuff in there. Or like the very last episode when all that stuff is going on. Like they did definitely like at least match the vibe, and the sound is not. It's not something that takes away from the show, and it just doesn't really add a ton, I guess is what I'd say.
Yeah. I also did think that the score was pretty good. Like I wouldn't say like it's like knock out of the park amazing, but like I feel like the music in the show did fit situations that they were in. Though that being said, I couldn't name a single song aside from like the insert that they did with the concert.
Same.
I guess we should talk about like the performance, the concert stuff, right? Because they do sing a good chunk in this show. That's not really spoilers to talk about like the actual singing and stuff in there.
Oh, okay, like, well, okay, yeah. The characters at the end, they sing the ED.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It was fine. I don't know. Yeah, you could tell it was them singing, which is good. It's just bizarre what they're singing about.
I mean, the show itself is a little bizarre, and to its whether that be to its credit or its detriment is kind of up to the viewer. But
it is a bizarre adventure, right?
It is bizarre.
It is a very bizarre adventure.
Which actually brings up a good point that I'll kind of save for now and talk about it when we're talking about our recommendations.
Okay. Spoiler-free thoughts.
So our recommendations?
Yeah. I guess. Will you have any final thoughts, spoiler free, and then we can go into recommendations?
Oh, okay. Jay, you go first.
Okay. So I guess I can talk about it now because we're recommending things. Would you say that like people who like JoJo's because of how bizarre it can be would like this show? Because like they both are a bit bizarre.
I mean, if you like JoJo's because of how bizarre it is, but I think most people like JoJo's because it's like there's action and
there's more going on in JoJo's.
It's also kind of like if you like people like JoJo's because it's JoJo's. You know, like not because of any any particular thing about it.
It's the whole package, right?
Yeah. But like if you do like the zaniness of JoJo's, this is also zany, but
I think Gintama would probably be a better recommendation as far as zaniness goes.
I don't know. I feel like Gintama's a bit more meta than this is.
But I mean, like, this is just a pure comedy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
JoJo's, I feel like it's not...
It's more shown in action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is...
Yeah.
I mean, like, an obvious recommendation would be Nichijou.
Yeah,
sure.
For sure.
I don't know enough about it, but it just seems like kind of the same vibe. I kind of like, for my final spoiler-free thoughts, I think there's enough here that it's worth watching. Like, you're not going to have a terrible time with this show. I don't think you're really going to hate it. You could hate it if you're like me, and I was a little worried because I think I've become more numb to like the anime screaming and stuff like that. Because this is one of those shows where like the characters are just always yelling and they're always, and the main character girl does have kind of an annoying voice. But maybe I've become more numb to it. I think part of this show too is it appeals to like the hardcore anime fan. Like, this is a very anime show. Like, if you just show this show to just a random Marvel fan or something, they're like, what the hell is going on? Why are they flying through the air? Why is this teenager girl's panties always being shown under her maid dress? Why are they all dressed like maids? Why do they keep... Like, what's with the zany antic? It's a very zany show. And for that, I think it needs it though, because it's kind of shafts their thing, right? That's what they do.
Yeah.
I do think that it's worth watching. I think people who like this show, or if you like any of these other shows, I think you'd probably also like it. I think Tatami Galaxy is a good recommendation here. Tatami Galaxy's better. Don't get me wrong. It has more meaning to it. Whereas I felt like this show, kind of its biggest problem with it is it didn't really have much meaning to me. Like, there wasn't. I know you guys are going to say, oh, but it's a slice of life. It doesn't need meaning. There still should be like some kind of message overall. And like, you should have learned something from watching it. And I guess the last episode kind of gives you a little bit of that, but that's just probably my personal preference about the slice of life thing, is that you're not watching this and getting anything out of it other than kind of like a few cheap laughs and chuckles and cool animation. That's really what you're looking for here. I don't know about JoJo's as a recommendation, but there are definitely there are shows that would suit it better. I think if you're just like a Shaft junkie like Cole, if you just love Shaft, like this is for you.
I was gonna say Monogatari.
Monogatari is the
yeah. Another one, like, I look at the recommendations off of AniList because my brain doesn't work sometimes, and Azumanga Daioh would be one for sure. Like, it's kind of that. Jay, another one. I know you don't like it, but Lucky Star would be one.
Yeah. That
honestly, I would
now
recommend.
That you say that,
yeah, just that type of humor in it. But yeah, probably Monogatari. Like, if you like Monogatari, I think you'd probably like this.
Yeah,
it's not as mystery based, but it's similar humor. Like, it's very like word punny, and
Monogatari is also better. Like, don't get either of us wrong.
Story wise, sure.
Yeah,
but I'm talking just strictly from like the joke style.
Sure.
This show, I think one thing to note is that I think we're all in agreement here. There's a lot of things that it's like, and this is probably not something you'd ever recommend to somebody as their first or like even their 15th anime they've watched.
No.
There's much better things that you could watch instead. Go watch either of those things we just mentioned. They're way better. But this is, if you've already watched those, this is something else you could also enjoy. You know, sometimes you've already had your nice big bowl of soup and it's been tasty, but then you just need like a little sweet something after.
If you kind of want to like continue to ride that wave, like you've started riding that wave and you want to continue that wave because you're just on a kick, this'll help you along with that.
This'll do it.
Yeah.
One show I keep seeing recommended here by the users on Mal and AniList is Arakawa Under the Bridge. I haven't watched it though. Do you guys know anything about that?
Yeah. Kind of. It's Shaft again.
I kind of get it, but like at the same time, like probably not as strongly as the other shows that you guys
Mike,
mentioned.
Why don't you click on Arakawa Under the Bridge and then look at who plays the main girl?
Okay, I'll do that, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, similar senses of humor, and again, Shaft. I like my recommendations more, frankly.
Because they're your recommendations?
Because they're my recommendations. This has more
Maya
style.
Sakamoto?
Yeah. That's who sang this OP.
Oh, there you go. And also, Jay's guy, Sugita, is in the show, too, as Hoshi. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys say?
And also Hiroshi Kamiya, which is one of my favorite male seiyuu.
There you go.
Anyway, we're not reviewing that show. Should we warn our good listeners about spoilers at this point?
I think it's a good time to do it.
Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Jay's sitting there silently. Yes.
Spoiler warning.
Yes.
Henceforth, we shall discuss
These spoilers.
These spoilers are being warned.
Wait, before we go into spoilers,
yes.
Do you think that people's experience of this show would be ruined by hearing the spoilers? I think we usually do talk about whether it's a spoilerific show or not.
You know what? This time I'm going to say yes, because it goes in directions that come out of left field, and I feel like you'd have more fun with it if you didn't know what was going to happen at the end.
True.
Fair.
True.
Yeah.
You may have convinced me,
I'm going to say go and watch it and then come back and finish this episode.
Okay. Jay? You agree?
I can see where Cole's coming from with that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ruin the show for you, but I agree. It is better to go in. It would be better to go in blind, but I think if you're not going to watch this show, you're not going to care anyway. But
I feel like it's kind of one of those shows where, like, you're going to want to watch it or you're not. Like,
yeah,
I don't think that us spoiling the show for you is going to convince you or not convince you.
How many episodes
one thing I will say,
it?
though, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it, like, the rule is give it 3. I'd probably give it 5, to be honest, because that's when it starts getting, like, that's when it gets its feet under it. The first few episodes are, frankly, kind of the weak point of this show. And then it starts to
sink its teeth later on.
Are we in spoilers now?
Sure. Yes. Spoilers start now.
Spoilers now. I think the point that really got me was kind of that whole episode where Hitori was in, like, detention with the math teacher, and it was just those two, like, discussing, like, math and why he likes math and why he thinks of her as, like, his enemy and stuff like that. At that point, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, now it feels like it knows what it's doing now. Like, it's not just these girls in a maid shop, which isn't what the show's about.
That was one thing that I was kind of, like, surprised by, is that it seemed like there's going to be a lot more maid. When I watched the first episode with you, I thought, oh, this show's, like, going to be all about maids working in a maid cafe, basically, doing silly little antics. And it just, like, kind of didn't end up being what it was about. So it just kind of took me off guard.
Yeah, like another one of my favorite plot points was, like, the younger brother, like, going on a date with his little friend there.
I thought that was one of the better episodes of the show.
Yeah, I liked that. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're moving away from the characters, and it was just cute. It was like a breath of fresh air. And then we came back to our main characters, and they're like, now they're starting a band where one of them's playing an accordion and a violin, and it's just weird.
The more we talk about this show, the more I'm coming around to the idea that, like, the main girl is, like, one of the worst characters in this show, and she kind of ruins it a little bit.
No, I like
I know you're a sucker for characters like her.
I'm a sucker for an idiot.
Like a silly, goofy, off-the-wall idiot. Yeah, like that's your type of character you like, right? But I think a lot of the gags of the show are just built around her being a goofy little goyle. Yeah. And I think when she's, like, least in the show, I think it kind of gets better, honestly. Like,
I disagree.
Well,
I like her.
Yeah, but we can't. That's the point of the thing. We're supposed to agree.
I don't know, like, I feel like she works well with other characters, but, like, the last episode might be the best episode, and that's just her.
Yeah. yeah,
and
when
people's reactions to her.
That took me so off guard too when she I was like, oh, there's no way she's gonna be like the Kazuma thing from Konosuba where she thinks she died, but then she'd be laying on the ground. I'm like, oh no, she's actually dead. What the hell?
Yeah, no, this show it goes for it.
It is wild, for sure.
The whole we go into that episode where they're finding all of these holes in the ground. And she's like, I did it. And it's like, okay, so she went and dug these holes.
Yeah.
No, that's not what happened. She found an alien gun, and then there were these two aliens that started fighting over it.
And then they go back and
what
repair
is going on?
And then they go back and repair the holes in the alien.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That felt like somebody was just on some stream of consciousness.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I loved that. I loved it. That was awesome.
Honestly, that part, that in and of itself was my favorite part of the show, when it just went to
way
wherever
off
the hell it was planning on going.
Yeah, but that's a good point. That episode is a good example of why I said this is one of the most anime I've seen. Because how do you explain that to your grandma when you're watching this show? What the hell is going on right now?
Well, I mean, even to some anime fans, if you tried to explain it, they'd be like, "What?"
I think somebody for a lot of people that'd be a no-go.
Yeah.
Somebody who's just watched Dragon Ball Z or something like that, and then they turn around and you're like, watch this. This is weird.
I don't even think you go that just basic. Just people just watch normal anime, I would even say would be a little taken aback. But I was even taken aback sometimes watching the show. That's what I mean. This? What's happening right now?
Even most anime fans, if they've only seen the basic stuff, they'd be like, what?
I don't know, man. I've watched Monogatari, I've watched quite a bit of crazy stuff, and this show still shocked me at times with how zany it was.
But were you shocked in a good way, or did it was it off-putting for you?
I'd say in a good way, but it was definitely what the hell's going on? I like stuff like that. I like when it's off the walls and zany that catches you off guard, but I could see people being this is dumb and then turning it off.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say, you need to really being dragged along on an adventure. I think is kind of the way that you think about this.
So maybe JoJo's was a good way to think of it too, because it is kind of. It does have that little bit of JoJo's essence to it, where you're just along for the ride.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. You're just along for the ride. You're not here for an intricate, deep plot. Because Araki and his stories are he just thinks of stuff coming up on the spot and he'll retcon whatever if it doesn't fit his ideas and whatever. And that is pretty much this anime. It'll just come up with ideas and throw them in, and it is the epitome of sure, why not.
Yeah, checks out.
Another plot point, because Mike brought it up in the spoiler-free section, was the dog, and how the cutaways,
Joestar.
The cutaways would go to the dog saying something as a just a scene interlude, and then all of a oh no, that's their dog, but it's not a dog. It looks like a tanuki.
Yeah.
Her friends caught her walking it. And
that was
they were
probably
all
the funniest joke in the show.
Yeah. And how the dog looks like a tanuki, and then she's like, go get them, Josephine.
Yeah.
And then they start laughing at the name too.
Josephine's a hilarious name for a dog. And is the dog's name just Josephine, or is it actually Josephine Joestar? Because there was that one cutaway.
JoJo's reference?
There was a JoJo's reference in one of the cutaways where the tanuki was Josephine Jojo Joestar. I just wanted to say that once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that?
Oh yeah.
Is that the dog's name? There's a lot of good anime. Again, this is the otaku show for sure. Because it had remember that Akira reference in the beginning too, where she gets on the scooter and the cop stops her, and then he's like, don't ride that, and then she's like, yeah, okay. Then she's like, let's go, Akira. And then she gets on the scooter and speeds
Tetsuo.
away. Tetsuo, let's ride. Yeah.
There was a good Darth Vader Star Wars reference in the show.
Yeah. A couple Star Wars references.
Yeah, no, again, Shaft does that all the time.
I could picture Cole watching it, seeing the Star Wars reference, and just being like, I wake.
I am I am erect.
Yeah.
No. Like, I sat up, I mean.
Yeah, that's
what
what
did
I mean.
you guys think I meant? Yeah, like I sat up.
What else would it be? Yeah.
Yeah, what else would it be?
Yeah. Get your mind out of the gutter, listener.
Yeah.
Characters.
I was
plot.
too.
We talked a lot about plot. And Jay, do you have anything to add about plot? I feel like you didn't talk much in this so far, the spoiler section.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like you guys enjoyed this a lot more than I did because I was kind of bored watching it, if I'm being completely honest.
I could see that.
I do think that like when the aliens when that all happened, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of interesting, but like for the majority of it, it was just kind of like I like the direction and I like how everything is presented, but the package, like the meat of it that I'm digesting, I'm not really vibing with.
It's got a little bit of indigestion there. I could see that because it kind of doesn't really know what it is. It feels like sometimes like it kind of is just too all over the place, and it's going to give you a little bit of an upset tummy if you're not ready for it or not prepared.
Yeah. One thing I will say is like, there's a lot of manga after this.
Oh
still.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the manga just ended like a year ago, maybe. Like there's a time skip and stuff like.
Are you asking for a season 2? Is that what you're asking for?
Maybe I'm asking for a season 2. The more I talk about it, the more I realized I probably like this show more than I give it credit for.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those ones that when you really, like when you're watching it, you're maybe a little bored, like Jay was saying, but and I'm not typically a slice of life guy, but at least this held my attention the whole way through. And that says something, because not every anime does that.
And it couldn't hold my attention for a lot of it. A lot of the time, and
it's just not for everybody.
I think this is a good metric for like how to know whether your attention's been held. If you're checking the time bar to see like how much time you have left on a show, you're not into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I found myself like seeing like, okay, how much time do I have left? How much time do I have left?
And for me too, like every time I went to watch, I was like, oh, I have to watch this show. It was never just like, oh, I want to watch this show. It was like, I have to watch this show.
Yeah.
Oh, by the end, I was like, I binged the last 5 episodes.
It finishes strong for sure. And I think that's probably why the score is so low on AniList. The score is 72%. Which I think is
terribly low.
I think it's probably people who dropped it by episode 4 or 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people give anime the 3 episode rule, and like Cole said,
this needs more than 3.
Yeah. I think if people kept going, they might find that there's something different, or they might not. I mean, I mean,
you may not like it, but what I'm saying is the show doesn't become what I think the show is meant to become until like episode 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
I think we've kind of said it all at this point. And does anyone have any final things they want to say before we go into our best boy and girls and stuff like that?
This is just one of those slice of life shows where you often think like, of course there's the zany stuff, but like another plot point I really liked in the show was where the brother couldn't sleep, so they just like wandered around the town, and she blew his mind when it became midnight, and it was like, I don't know, it was cool. Like I like the show, guys.
That honestly gave me a little bit of Call of the Night vibes when they were
very
wandering the
Call
town.
of the Night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool. There's a lot of cool moments in this show, but it like when you add up all the cool moments, I don't know if they add up to the sum of the parts, if that makes sense. I don't know if the whole show is as good as all of its moments, and that feels like a weird thing to say, but I really believe it for this show.
And I mean, we've kind of tiptoed around this, but the elephant in the room is the last episode. She gets hit by a car and she dies, and then she like peeks in on everybody and she's like, oh, like whatever, and she sees everybody like breaking down because she's
dead.
She's not dead, but she's in like a coma.
But they tell her, the doctors say like, we don't think she'll ever wake up, so essentially it was like that weird, unexpected, dark twist that was like,
and it was like super heavy, and that was again, that was such a good show. Such a good part of the show.
We also tiptoed around this thing. Did you guys think while you're reading this manga that you understood like where like you could see that this was the author of Heavenly Delusion.
Well, I watched the show. I didn't read the manga.
Right, but like I mean, just like in a storytelling-ish standpoint.
No, I feel like Heavenly Delusion is probably kind of more like he's matured as an author.
I think some of the fingerprints are there, but it is a very different story. I haven't read either, just like from having watched the two shows.
But Jay, like, did that last episode not like did that strike a chord for you at least?
I'm just curious. I think the biggest problem with this is like because I was so checked out by that point. Even if like it struck like a little bit of a chord with me, like it had already lost me to the point where I was like, I'm just pushing through.
I think Jay and I have like diverged. I think we both started like as like kind of in the middle. Like we're like,
and then
Jay's
hating
good.
it more. I can see it on Jay's face.
Yeah, now that I didn't like the show, and I'm like, I think I liked it more than I thought I did.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like we just, and honestly, like, sometimes I feel like we're a little afraid to say what we actually think about things because like. I know we get a little butthurt when the other person doesn't like the thing that we like, but it's okay. And I honestly think that's what we should shoot for in our reviews, and that's why I think this is a great pick for a review, Cole. It's because we got the full spectrum here. I think that's really that makes for like a good review. I don't think everything's for everybody, and it's really not fun to all agree sometimes.
Yeah, and you know what? There's going to be that one Soredemo Machi fan out there, like the super fan. He's going to be like, "Oh my god, there's a review for this show."
We're going to get like. Yeah. Remember when we put out the Crest of the Stars
is still our most
like. We got like a whole freaking like essay from some guy talking about.
It's our most listened to episode.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. The otakus are the best. Like I love people who are just obsessed about certain things. And speaking of obsessed about certain things, what characters were you guys loving? What are your best boys and girls?
Best boy, begin Jay.
Best boy, the math teacher. I mean,
there's two answers here.
Yeah,
there's only two answers really.
Yeah, it's Sugita, but also at the same time, I like the math teacher's vibe.
That's not what my other answer was.
No.
That's the voice actor.
That's the voice actor.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of the
boy that
boy
has
got
a crush on the main girl.
Yeah. The part of the love triangle.
I did like him, but like I don't know, just like the vibe that the math teacher gave off. Like I was the most entertained by like how he interacted with the main girl.
Yeah, he was like the foil to her.
Yeah.
I liked the way with him too that they were willing to show, like, he starts off as like your typical how like a teenager sees an adult where they're all like put together and like cool, and then once you go into his head he's just like an unhinged adult who's like just trying to get through the day without like losing his mind.
One of my favorite scenes from the show is when like he takes her into the teacher's office.
Yeah,
and like
that's what I was
he's
thinking
trying to get her to sit in the chair, but like
he doesn't know which one's going to make him look stupid.
So like he has to take like a gamble on like which one is the one, and then like he's like, oh well, I have to sit down actually. So like he's now like, crap, I don't know which one's the right one. I don't want to look like an idiot in front of this girl who I'm calling an idiot. Which is like a huge, like that was straight out of Gintama.
There's a few jokes that really land. Yeah, and that was definitely one of them. I think he's probably going to be unanimous best boy, but the police officer was also really funny.
Yeah, the police officer was good too.
And so was the younger brother. I really like the younger brother in this show too.
Yeah, the younger brother was good.
Yeah. He had some good moments too.
I like how Mike started off saying, I think there's only two, and then he starts listing off others.
Well, it's just the cop or the teacher really stole the show, and that's why he's also my best boy, I think. I want to go with one of the other ones, but my heart just says it is him. He stole the show.
Yeah, I agree. I do like Sonata. Like the boy, the boy that's got a crush on
the episode where he had to hide his porn collection. That was so funny too.
Yeah,
or the episode where she falls asleep on his shoulder and he's like, "Oh, what God has blessed me," and then it's like, "Next stop, high school," and he's like, "No."
A real man would not press the button.
Yeah.
And again, I like that episode too, where they skip school and
I don't know,
she like holds his hands and and stuff. Yeah, it's cute.
It's cute. It really captures like the essence of being like a high schooler doing silly stuff. I don't know.
Sure.
It just
For sure.
it checks the boxes.
Yeah. All that said, the math teacher is best boy though. He's the best
boy.
Yeah.
His name is
the math teacher.
Natsuhiko Moriaki. That's his
I also love that
teacher.
Hotori's got a crush on him.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
None of the relationships in this show work. Like they all like someone else.
Yeah. It's just like a love pentagon.
Yeah, basically.
It's a love
it has like
cube.
intersections that go like across the middle and stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a love
now,
web.
Here might be a little more contention. Best
Okay.
girl, J-Sif.
Honestly, I feel
why
like
why is it the granny?
It's not though. Okay, so
were you being sarcastic when you said this would be contentious?
Kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was going to say it's a pretty obvious one for me.
Here's my issue with the girls. There were none of them that really like interested me to like an intense degree. It was just like, yeah, I guess. And like I don't want to be the guy that's like, I'm gonna pick MC because that's the normie pick, but like kind of have to because she's the only one that really like had highlighted scenes for me. Like all of the scenes that I talked about that I really enjoyed had her in the center. So
yeah. So you're going MC Hotori?
Yeah.
Arashiyama? Yeah. Okay.
Arashiyama.
I echo Jay's sentiment. My heart really wants to pick someone else, but man, they just did not like develop any characters other than the main girl at all.
I feel like it's partially because of, like Cole said, the manga or the anime didn't cover that much of the manga, and maybe they're covered more later on.
I appreciated the way that they jumped around, because at the beginning of each episode or each skit, they show what chapter it comes from and what volume. I appreciate the fact that they took it out of order sometimes and just kind of bounced around just to make it a better show. I thought that really helped it a lot.
That's kind of like what Monogatari does, right? Like it shows literally the chapter number every time it goes to a different chapter.
Yeah,
I like it.
I mean, March Comes In Like a Lion does that too.
Yeah,
that's just Shaft. I think that's a Shaft move, maybe.
I think that's
all of these shows have something in common.
Yeah. I'm also going Hotori for this one. My heart says I want to like Tatsuno because I think she's like a cool character. And if they put more effort into her, I would have probably picked her, but they just didn't. So here I am.
Oh wow!
We got a sweep. I'm thinking.
I'm
Cole?
surprised. Honestly, I mean. Again, my heart says Hotori, obviously. She's an idiot, and I love idiots. But to make it interesting, like, you guys know where my heart lies, but to make it interesting, I'm going to go with Kon Senpai, the blonde girl.
She was probably
my guy, for sure, you'd be more into her. She's...
there's like ripples there of why I should like those characters, but just at the end of the day, they just didn't do enough for me. Like that. Yeah, I probably would actually abstain if I had to give an actual vote, as bad as that sounds.
That's kind of how I felt too. Like I probably would abstain if that was an option.
Yeah, it's not an option.
Because it's not an option, I have to go with.
Do you know what else is not an option?
A final rating.
Not rating this show, abstaining from rating it. So what are we rating it?
You must rate it.
Yes. Cole, you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll go supporting. It's not Shaft's best. But it's still Shaft.
It's Shaft's good.
It's just
good.
Shaft
good is still like
very good.
Great from another studio. And like the more I talked about it, the more I found myself jiving with it.
I think this is one of those shows where like when you watch it, maybe it's not like as you're watching it, it doesn't really hit the points that you really would think. Like as you're watching, you're not thinking this is a great anime, and then when you like think back on it, the nostalgia and like the memories of the show maybe amplify it a little bit. It's kind of like one of those, like it's like a tough time where you're like at the time it's not so good, and then when you get through the end of it, when you get out, the only way out is through. You look back fondly on it. But even though it was maybe not the best thing at the time. And I'm also going to rate this show And I was thinking, I'm between supporting and background, and I think I'm going to be a hater. I'm going to go background on this one. I'm going to go with background character. Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if it's a show that I couldn't pick a best girl in, right? Like,
yeah.
And it only, I guess the boys were pretty good. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to go background character for this one. Jay?
Yeah, I kind of echo that sentiment. Like I said, there were definitely moments, like I mentioned, that I did enjoy, but like it was kind of like you know when you're trying to sing along to a song and like there are only like certain words that you know, but then you have to mumble the rest. That's kind of like how I feel about this show. There are moments where like I'll really like get into it, but then the rest I'll just have to mumble and play along with as it goes by.
Yeah.
And like, I can't really rate a show like that too high. The thing that brings it up for me is definitely the direction and like how the director plays with the camera and the different angles in that. And I think that like on a technical standpoint, I kind of alluded to this with how I predicted what Cole was going to think of it, but like that was kind of mirroring how I really thought about it. On a technical standpoint, it's great. But like on a personal enjoyment standpoint, I probably wouldn't watch this if it was for like leisure. So it just putting that on an average, I'd put it right in the middle with a background.
Okay. I've thought more about my rating too. I might actually bump it up to supporting just because there's enough good moments and enough like cool things in the show, and like all the bits and jokes are all foreshadowed pretty well. There's clearly some enough thought there, and there's enough to like there. I'm going to go actually supporting. So our final
sorry, go ahead.
Our final score then is never mind, that didn't work. You can say your thing.
Okay, I was going to say, without the direction, I think all of us would probably be one step lower. I think. Like, the direction in it definitely bumps it up. I liked it more than you guys did, but it's still within that supporting area. Mike's probably more of a lower supporting, and Jay, you're right on the cusp there.
Like I said,
I think without that direction, it'd be
probably
the
henchman,
one step lower.
Yeah.
Probably henchman,
The direction and all the... Just, honestly, if Shaft didn't do this, it would be probably background or slightly below.
I'm honestly not sure. Like, I'm still not sure if someone else did this, because the direction is different, I feel like the pacing would be a little different as well. And I'm not sure if that would affect anything. So I'm, like, genuinely not sure.
Okay. Well, our final score, when you add it all up and get a percentage out of it, is 73%. It is a 3.6666666666 repeating out of 5.
Okay.
Also known as what Cole basically said, like a mid. So it's right on that line of background and supporting. So, which checks out. Yep.
Yep.
Now, Jay.
Yes.
You have a duty to do, my friend.
I do have a duty. So,
why don't you reveal the most obvious review?
Well, hold on. Maybe some people aren't in on the joke and don't know that.
Maybe some people forgot the hints.
Maybe some people forgot the hints that I also forgot.
Yeah.
I only remember the last one. It's a 10 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of 10. The other one was it's a 2-course show.
And it's the director.
The director of Death Note.
There you go.
And it's a 10 out of 10.
In Jay's
It's finally time for us to review
this is hype.
The best anime I have ever watched, according to me.
Jay's one of his few 10 out of 10. Is it your only 10 out of 10?
No, I think I have 6.
Okay.
We are watching, by Production IG, Guilty Crown.
It's Production IG.
It's Production IG.
I'm excited.
Oh, boys.
I got a feeling
this is going to be a good show.
Yeah.
Production IG don't miss.
This is also an experiment. For those who don't know, like I just said, I rated this a 10 out of 10 back in 2015. I was 17 years old. It has been quite some time since then. I remember absolutely nothing about this show. So I have no idea why I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Well, maybe
so
we'll
we're
find
going to
out.
see in a month's time whether I still think it's a 10 out of 10. Let me tell you something, boys. I watched the OP, And I have to change. We were asked a couple weeks ago what the best OP of all time is.
Good. Whoa, Jay. Whoa. 10 out of 10 OP?
I have to give it to my dearest. My lord, that OP is good.
Wow.
That's why Jay rated it 10 out of 10.
Yeah, Production IG though. Wow, I didn't know about that. Man, they're killing it this season with Heavenly Delusion, by the way.
So good. Underrated, super underrated. Go watch it.
Super underrated.
I'm honestly this is going to be fun times.
Yep.
You know who's super underrated too?
Who?
All our patrons.
Oh, that
all
too.
of our patrons.
Would
Mike,
you like
do you have
bonus episodes and all sorts of goodies and also access to our episodes early? Like on, I think Fridays, Jay puts them up, right?
Yeah, every Friday.
Get them a couple days early.
Get them a couple days early. You can get a whole bunch more stuff. You get an access to a limited only patron Discord channel in our Discord. By the way, come to our Discord. There's a whole bunch of little
new
benefits.
Patreon supporter role in our Discord.
Yes, that's true. You get the nice little different color. I can't remember what it is off the top. Is it blue?
It's blue.
I don't remember.
It's blue.
It's blue. It is blue. Yes.
blue.
It blue.
Yes. And Cole has a list of all the patrons. Does he have it pulled up or no?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
I could also pull it up.
No, I got it.
Okay.
So our patrons are as follows. Mr. Family Guy 36, thank you. Elijah Wood, that's the Elijah Wood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brain
Eat a
Dead
bomb.
B-Dog.
Check it out.
Thank
That's
you.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Super Mexi,
Oh,
Thank you.
friend of the
Goat.
podcast, thank
Very
you.
good friend of the podcast.
Pete from What Do You Say Anime,
Super duper.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta record a new patron bonus episode actually soon.
We do.
Did we decide officially we're gonna do the thing that we talked about? I don't remember what I said. Oh yeah, Would You Rathers. And we're gonna do Would You Rathers as the next bonus episode, I think.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. But anyway, thank you for listening to another episode of the Anime Protagonist Podcast. You can follow us on social media at AniProPol.
AniProPol.
AniProPod. That's ANIPROPOD. You can follow me. That's AniProCole at ANIPROCOLE. Man, what is going on, Mike?
I don't know what's going on. You're losing your
Where
mind.
can they follow you?
Follow me at Gritty Gundam, GRITTYGUNDAM. Jay, where can they follow you?
You can follow me at JGardian. Hold the applause, please. That's JAYGAREDIAN.
That's right. Leave a like, review, and subscribe. Tell a friend all about your second favorite anime podcast. Come to our Discord, of course, and join our Patreon if you really, really liked us. Maybe we're your favorite anime podcast.
I doubt it. Why would you be?
This is my favorite anime podcast.
Links to everything is at our website. That's anipropod.com. And just a reminder, we will be at Icon in the city of Winnipeg, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
From July 14th to the 16th. So if you are at... We do. If you're at Icon, come and say hello to us. We will be back next week. But until we come back next week, we say, as we do at the end of every episode of the Anime Protagonist Podcast, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.